everyone. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to install Tailwind CSS in a PHP application. We are going to install Tailwind CSS as a CSS framework, and we are going to use in our PHP project. Let me create a project folder in this. And name it a PHP. And now I'm going to create a home page file and index.php. So now I can open this with VS Code as our project, where we are going to install Tailwind CSS and use Tailwind CSS in our index.php file. We are going to use Tailwind CSS in a PHP, a pure PHP, not a framework. We are going to use a pure PHP in our project. So there's a lot of people asking how to use Tailwind CSS in a pure PHP. Most of the programmers use CSS in the frameworks like Laravel and other frameworks, but now we are going to use PHP Tailwind CSS in a pure PHP. So this file, I have created an HTML document. Hello and welcome to Tailwind CSS. Let me start my XAMPP server. There is a video on how to start the XAMPP server using a CMD. You can start XAMPP anywhere or you can start any application anywhere in the command by calling a batch file. You can see now I've started, and I'm going to edit this configuration file so that the admin or the homepage must point to the directory of our project. Let me copy this path and paste in the document root. Save this file, the configuration file. Restart the Apache web server. After restart, if you navigate to the home page or the admin page, you will see a hello world HTML page. Hello, welcome to CSS. What you are going to do is to install Tailwind CSS in our PHP project so that you can use Tailwind CSS. The best CSS, the amazing CSS that you are going to use, simple to use and responsive Tailwind CSS. The steps is to install Tailwind CSS. First step is to install Tailwind CSS package using this command: npm install d Tailwind CSS. Open cmd in the directory where we want to install and run the command. You can see now it's downloading the packages from the internet. Wait for a moment, it's downloading, and for only 0 vulnerability, we don't have error. You can see in this directory we were having an index.php file on, but now we have a package, not modules. We have a package, we have this also file package, we have also this package.loc, a JavaScript configuration file. Another thing is to copy this command. This command is going to create an initial configuration. Create Tailwind configuration file, tailwind.config.js. This initial configuration that we are going to configure our framework. You can see now a tailwind.config.js as this one have been created. We are going to use this to configure the path that we are going to use in the Tailwind CSS project. Copy this. This is the path where the CSS will be referenced and will be compiled. This is the path that contain the files that is going to use Tailwind CSS. By default, we have HTML and JavaScript. I can change this because we don't have a source directory or a source folder. Our file is outside the directory, so we are going to call Tailwind CSS outside. We don't have a source folder. Let me remove this source folder. We have also PHP because we are going to use Tailwind CSS in a PHP. We are going to create HTML files, we have to create JavaScript files, and we have to create PHP files. So that's why I added this PHP. Next step is add the Tailwind directive for each of Tailwind to a main CSS file. I have to create an input CSS which is going to be compiled to produce the output CSS that you recall in our files. Now I have to create an input file. In this file, I have to paste these directives. Save it input.css. This is a source file that is going to be compiled every time we call classes. Also, I have to create let me show the next step. you can start the command line building process by this command. Let me copy this command. Run this command in the directory path. I can open the terminal here so that I should not use CMD every time, because in the VS we have a CMD, but in this command we have userless names. We are going to compile an input.css file and we produce a stylist.css. That's why I'm editing this stylist.css as the file that we are going to use or to reference in our file, in our page files. You can see now a styles have been created and compiled. Now we are going to use these classes inside this, and every time you call a class, it is compiled and a class is added into this stylist.css. Every time you call a class in your PHP files, in your HTML file, in your JavaScript file, it's compiled and added to this stylist.css. By default, it contains classes that are default used, for instance, the images, videos, button, and so. Now reference the stylist using this tag. Put this reference in anywhere that you want to use CSS, but now we are not going to use this after this. We are going to use this stylist.css as the file we created, or the file compiled. The command is running in the background, and every time you make changes to your files, it build and compile to produce the output. We added a watch switch so that to watch every change in your files, every change in your PHP files, every change in your HTML file, in your JavaScript file, and are being compiled. You can see now I've added the style, the background, hello. Thanks for watching.